So after one of my last 2 truck days, I wrecked my front brakes and I burnt through my back brakes pretty bad. I've replaced all the discs and that hasn't really solved the problem. One of the problems I still have is I feel like I've got a juddering, like a really weird brake judder as I'm braking, especially from high speed. You don't notice it so much at kind of like normal everyday traffic speeds. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my brake pistons, so I've refurbished the calipers entirely, front and back. The back's already got new pads. I've got some new OEM Honda pads, which actually, I don't know if you guys knew this, but they're actually Braided pads, if you see that. So OEM Honda pads are Ferrado, you know. Cool. And I also bought the eBay caliper kit. This is about 50 or 60 quid, but we'll have a look at what's in the box and you guys can see if it's worth getting one. So this is from Friendtech Braking. There you go, box of seals. They look like the rears, which is, see that, seal kit, rears, caliper kit for the front. There's 2 sets of each. So they send you all the lubricant, all the lube, and some new nipples, which is nice. And then we have got 2 new front pistons, 2 rear pistons. I had a look at these and actually the finish and machining looks really good. So, see that? Yeah, pretty good. They all come oiled and stuff, so they're not corroded. So yeah, I'm hoping that is going to get rid of the brake judder. And since we're already in there doing that, I thought it'd only be rude not to fit the braided brake line kit. Braided brake line kit I bought from Tegoa, and it is kit SHD0390-6C. I'll open this box and show you what's inside, but it's probably not that interesting. So you can see it's a 6-line kit, and you get the distribution blocks and new copper washers in the back, which is nice. One thing I did notice when you get this kit out is these 2 have the banjos at the back, clearly for the rear caliper. So that's those. You've got these longer ones, which are clearly for the front ones. And then you've got these, which are actually slightly different. You'll notice on one end it's got that sort of fitting, and the other end it's a threaded fitting. And on this one, it's that same kind of fitting either end. Both of these go at the back, and they sit underneath the, well, from what I can tell, they look like they sit underneath the boot somewhere, so there'll be some crawling around on the floor. Cool then, so yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing in my next video. Doing a bit of brake refurbishment. But yeah, let's get to it. Alright, cool. So, I'm going to take off this, which is 12mm. I'm going to take off this, and we're going to take off this one here, and the one below. You can see the bolts on the back. As for the brake line, so obviously banjo fit in here, flexible brake line into the clip, which is here. Might have to take that off, and you can see it goes into the distribution block. This is a 12mm. I'm just going to loosen the top one. There we go. That's kind of, didn't even have to loosen it. Okay, for some reason on the back these are 13mm as opposed to 12mm on the front. On the back, this bolt here, it's a new one I fitted recently, and that's 13mm, and then this is spinning, so that's just a 15mm spanner on there. Okay, so this bottom bolt's out using a 13mm socket. Okay, both of those have got to come out then. Okay, so that's being held on now still by the brake line, but also by your handbrake cable at the back. Okay, to get the handbrake off, you need to unhook this. Best thing to do is get a 13mm spanner. On the back of that mechanism there's a nut. If you turn that nut towards the back of the car, you'll see it unloads the spring. And then, if I can show you this with one hand, you should be able to pull off the handbrake cable like that. Okay, to loosen the handbrake, put 13mm on here and literally just pull it like that, and that allows you to remove this little bit here. Hello. You can take that off, and then you have to remove this clip. So that clip, I'm going to light on it. So that clip just slides out, and then you can actually take the handbrake out. Okay, when you take the rear caliper off, I've already disconnected the brake line at this point. To remove the handbrake cable, which is here, you have to take it out of this clip. Essentially what you've got there is just a spring clip which you can pull off, and then the cable just pulls through here. And I've seen a video on YouTube where a guy shows that, and it looks really easy. If yours is like mine, then mine was corroded solid, like the other side was really hard to get off. So I'll try and demonstrate now how it comes off, and the way I got it out was with a pair of mole grips. So I'll try and get this off now and show you how to get it off. It'll probably come off really easy now, but we'll see. Full disclosure, I did spray it with a bit of WD yesterday. Hopefully it'll be a bit easier today, but the first bit should be reasonably easy. Okay, yeah, get it in there and twist the screwdriver. Oop, there it goes. So you can see it's just a little spring clip that fits in there. Now, the other side, I couldn't get this out. You should just be able to pull this through. And predictably, it's pretty solid. Cool. Alright, well that was the same as the other side. So all I'm going to use is just a pair of vice grips and just try and wiggle it free. There we go. You see how crusty that is in there. So yeah, that was a lot easier than the other side. The other side fought me. But yeah, that's how you remove the caliper entirely from the back of a Mark 8 Civic or FN2 Honda Type R. Right, something quite interesting about the inside of these pistons, which I'll show you when I take this one apart. When I took the first one apart, I was not expecting to find what I did inside. Essentially, it's just the handbrake mechanism, and I think it's like a self-adjusting screw. So this obviously adjusts to take up the wear on the pads. There's nothing like that on the front ones, but it was on the back, so just be aware of that. And it's a bit tricky to get it out, so having a vice really helps, but you'll see that in a minute. So, right. Okay guys, I've got all the calipers off, all the pistons exposed. I'm hoping when I pump the brakes that these are going to come out. did see a fair bit of corrosion and pitting on the inside of these calipers when I took them off to put the pads on before. But this is what we're going to be replacing. This piston, this seal here. Also, obviously the seals on the guide pins here. That one's come off. Alright, well, guess that's out. So guys, you've just seen this one come out, fall out. If we go to the back one, by pumping the brakes, you can see the piston has come out a little bit. Alright, this one's come out too. Doesn't look too bad. But if we go to this back one, that thing hasn't moved an inch. So I would say that caliper is seized. The others are probably okay. Hopefully we can get this one out. And I'll let you know how I get it out, if I get it out. Alright guys, so we've got the front pistons out. You'll see on this one, there's a fair bit of just crusty bits and corrosion, and that's not going to help the pistons at all. So yeah, we'll replace these. What I'll do actually is I'll measure the new ones against these and see how close they are, and hopefully they're the right size. Again, you can see more dirt and grime on here. That's really gritty. Anything like that is just going to give you a jolly brake. Don't know what the significance of that 5.8 is. Anyone know? Let me know. Okay guys, so here we've got a brand new one from eBay and the original that was in there. $47, pretty much exactly the same. Uh, 54 mil. 54 millimeters, pretty much bang on.
I mentioned earlier on that the rear calipers and the pistons in particular were different. The threaded adjuster, if you can see it, nothing in there. So that threads onto the piston, which actually doesn't look that corroded, so don't know what's going on with this. So you see that in there, that's what threads onto the end of the piece inside the caliper. I've got to try and get that out. I've got the other one out. It's a real pain in the ass. There's some little spring in there that holds in a little bearing. It's washers and shims, and they're a pain in the dick to get out. I'll try and show you how to get it out. Alright, and getting it out is reasonably straightforward. So you can see how that's come out. It's upside down obviously, but if you were looking down from the top, spring, some washers. I'll keep that the right way up because we have to reuse these. Okay, so that just leaves you with the piston and the little piece inside. I'm sure that's got a proper name. Easiest way to get that out is just to put it back in your caliper. There we go. Got a bit of grease on the back still. This piston doesn't actually look too bad. Okay, well, the next thing for me to do is to move on to cleaning all the calipers up, so I'll quickly whiz through that. It's taken me 40 minutes to get the first one in. Nice. Keep going. There's a seal come out behind it. Oh! You fucking kidding me? Woohoo! That one was like 2 minutes. That's for the brake line, so obviously banjo fitting here, flexible brake line, into the clip. Clip which is here. I'll have to take that off, and you can see it goes into the distribution plug. So guys, I've just had an absolute battle to get that cable off the block here. What's happened is the little, I don't know if you can see it there well, but absolutely mullered the end of that brake pipe fitting. It just kept rounding off. I ended up having to get it off with mole grips, which is not ideal. Just be warned, those things are not easy to get off. Okay, just going to show a quick layout of the rear brake line. So we're replacing this flexible here, goes into a hard line that goes just behind back of there, and there's another fitting just here. A magic exhaust bracket right here, look. That's doing a lot, isn't it? Never mind. Okay, cool. So brake line comes over the top into here, so I'll have to undo that fitting. I've sprayed it with a bit of penetrating fluid already. Hopefully I don't round that, although it looks like it's going to be an absolute bitch to get off. The brake line comes over the top and then down to here and then back up to there. So that could be another interesting fitting to try and get off later on. It's gonna be a fucking nightmare, isn't it? Passenger side brake line comes around here to this bracket. You can probably just about see. and then there's another one of those distribution blocks up there, just here. So if you can get a spanner behind the back of there, a 12mm, then you can take this off, which I think is going to be very difficult. I can't get a spanner in there. What I'm going to try and do instead is this is sitting on this bracket, and there's some bolts, one there, one there, one at the back there. I think they're 10mm. I've just taken one out of that there, which holds this here. So I've just taken that out. It's tight as fuck. So I'm hoping that the rest of these are going to come out, that I can even get to them. That's pretty difficult. So yeah, let's see how I get on. I'll let you know if I can get it off. Alright, so I've got this out loose. This has got a hard wire cable to move out of the way. That one's loose. You can see this whole bracket's loose now. Before I take it off entirely, I've already cracked this, but it's probably be a good idea to get it off completely. It's difficult to get, if it's flapping about, it's going to be difficult to get a spanner on it, so I'll try and get it. Well, yeah, I'll just like do it one-handed. Hey, Mum, get the camera. Oh, I've already got it. Alright, I can't film this, but I'm going to take this off and then, yeah, I'll put it on the bench. Okay, it's off. There you go, that is off. Over on the bench here, I've got all the calipers and parts and stuff sitting in some evapor rust. Never used it before, so we'll see how that turns out. I've tricked in some other bits and bobs in there just to see what it does. That bracket I've just taken off. There's this bracket here. You can see the 12mm on the back. There's absolutely no chance you're going to get to that with a normal spanner, and that's going to go in there as well with its bolts. So hopefully it should be easy to put back on. Hopefully you guys can see. You might remember I took this bracket off because I couldn't get to this bolt, so just remember to put that bolt back on with a new distribution block before putting it back on the car, and then that goes, it goes there basically. Bit of a faff, whatever. Other thing I've been doing is making sure to put copper slip on all of my threads, so if I ever have to take it off, God forbid I do, then it hopefully won't be as bad. Whew. Just get a lever off that, and that'll come out. If you remember earlier on, guys, I showed you the rear brake lines, and there was two that were different from one another. The one with the threaded end, which is this one here, goes on the passenger side. It goes in there, and then it goes to a block, distribution block, which is underneath there. Well, at the moment it's off the car, but it will be back under there now. Get that started. It's probably difficult to see that one, but this fucking line is in the way. So, of course, when it comes to working on cars, everything is in the way of everything. I said this yesterday, I think, and that you can get one of these spanners that is ratcheting. I think for this job I'd recommend it. Quite expensive though. A laser one like 20 quid for one spanner. Proper tighten up in a minute. Okay, I've sprayed all these little springs in zinc primer just to keep them from rusting a bit. Hopefully by adding a bit of copper grease this will stop it from corroding. I mean, it is stainless, I believe, so it shouldn't corrode anyway, but obviously the spring isn't, so. Okay, now that's in, we can just hold that with a 17 mil. And do it up. Alright guys, and on the driver's side it's this one here where it's got the same end, either end at the back. Goes into this clip here and this clip here, or this little bracket, sorry, this bracket here, this bracket here. You just need two spring clips to secure it. That's shit in my eye, brilliant. Wear safety glasses. No, don't do these up fully tight as well. First time you put them in, just put them in loose and then tie them up afterwards. There you go guys, all done. Obviously it was done a while ago, but I didn't take any film at the time. Yeah.